The aim of this book is not to solve all the issues in the debate about racism. It is to offer fellow Christians some tools and frameworks to help all of us more thoughtfully navigate conversations about race and to better love our brothers and sisters of all ethnicities. Our stories. We've both been conscious of the ways that race and culture shape our experience of the church for a long time. I, Jason, am Black British. I was born in London to parents from the island of Barbados in the Caribbean who had moved to the UK to work and study. The suburb where I grew up was predominantly white. This meant that, apart from my parents, I encountered very few people with brown skin who were in skilled professions such as medicine, engineering, teaching or banking. It wasn't until we started to visit Barbados that I became aware of how much this had affected my own thinking. I remember wondering how the plane I was on would actually be able to land on the island. Who would have built the runway? Subconsciously, my environment had caused me to doubt whether, apart from some exceptions like my parents, black people had the competence to do these things. It seems almost unbelievable now that, despite the colour of my own skin, I might think this way. But it meant that my parents' decision to make Barbados a kind of second home for us was all the more precious. Those subconscious stereotypes quickly evaporated when we were immersed in a different place. I was also very aware of being seen as an outsider on both sides of the Atlantic. My accent made me a novelty in the Caribbean, while my skin and hair made me a curiosity among my classmates in England. My wife is white, and we are on an ongoing journey of working out what it looks like to raise children with mixed heritage in a sometimes hostile world. We've also had the privilege of planting an intentionally multi-ethnic church on an urban housing estate. Over the last decade, we have learnt lots about seeking to minister in a multi-ethnic, multicultural, multi-generational environment, often from our mistakes.
I, Jessamin, am a white American. I was born in Tokyo and spent my childhood between Japan, California, and Massachusetts. I had the chance to meet people from many parts of the world and transition between different cultures. Early on, I realized that church is both enriched and complicated by ethnic diversity. As a kid, I loved singing in Japanese, hearing the faith-filled testimonies of our Nigerian friends, and eating Korean and Filipino food at the monthly Bring and Share lunch. But I also picked up on the fact that there are sometimes conflicts around leadership styles and tensions about how best to manage multiple languages in the service. I observed that a black friend of ours called Dame experienced overt racism. I, on the other hand, would get special attention for having blue eyes and red hair. As an adult, I worked in India for a few years, where the caste system intersects with skin color and class in ways that profoundly impact how people live and worship. These experiences led me to pursue a PhD in sociology, focusing on religion, race, and inequality. 2 years into my PhD, the 2016 American presidential campaign exposed deep and ugly racial divisions in the American church, and most acutely in the evangelical church. I started doing research, both in the US and the UK, into how evangelicals think about race, and what helps or hinders churches from becoming racially integrated. My personal desire is for the church to be a community of welcome and justice, a place of healing and wholeness that points to the reconciling power of Jesus.
Both of us acknowledge that we see these topics of racial justice and unity through particular lenses. Our own identities and experiences have been profoundly shaped by our families, friends, skin tones, educational opportunities, work contexts, cultural environments, and church communities. We do not claim to have a comprehensive understanding of the complex issues that this book raises. Certainly, we both have much more to learn. However, we have endeavoured to write with integrity about some of the things we've learnt so far, with the hope that it can be of help to others who also long for the church to reflect God's heart for unity and diversity.